Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, let's see war lines or the Winters line. So why are these called as war lines? Because these are three lines, white, amber and red. And these were given by George Winter. In this, we will determine the difficulty index of the surgical extraction of third molar. And we can assess these war lines on an IOPA or a lateral extraoral or an OPG. So let's see the first line, that is white line. So it is made along the occlusal surface of the erupted molar, extending over the third molar region in the posterior depth. So what does this mean? This is my second molar, this is my first molar, and this is my impacted third molar. So this is the occlusal plane. I will start making it on the occlusal surface of erupted molars and I will extend it posteriorly. This is my white line. So what is the idea of this? This helps me to know the relative depth of the impacted third molar. Now from this we can draw some inferences, that is the occlusal surface of vertically impacted third molar is parallel to white line. In distoangular, it meets the white line in front of third molar. So in this we are talking about the occlusal surface. Let's understand this. So what does this mean? The vertical one is the simplest. In this it means if this is my second molar, this is my first molar, and this is my, let me draw this again. This is my first molar, this is my second molar, and this is my impacted third molar, which is vertical. So this is my occlusal plane or the white line. And the occlusal plane of the third molar, which is impacted, is also in this plane only. So this is parallel. This is what is said here, that the occlusal surface of vertically impacted second molar is parallel to white line. Now let's see in distoangular, and rest you can understand on your own. So what is distoangular? If this is my first molar, again this is second molar, and this is my impacted molar, which is distoangular. So in this case what will happen? This is my white line, and here is my occlusal plane of third molar. And if this line has to meet, this point will be above or in front of third molar. So this is third molar, and when the occlusal surface of this third molar and the occlusal plane of the erupted teeth meet, this point is above, is in front of third molar. It will be exact opposite in mesoangular. Let's read it again. So in distoangular, the occlusal surface of distoangular meets the white line in front of third molar, which we just saw. In mesoangular, the occlusal surface of mesoangular meets the white line behind the third molar. What does this mean? This is a point which is written in the book and it is very difficult to understand, so that's why I'm making this diagram. So this is second molar, this is first molar, this is my white line, and this is a mesoangular tooth. The occlusal plane of mesoangular will be this. So when these two lines bisect, this point is what they are saying, the occlusal surface of mesoangular third molar and the white line, this is the white line, this meet at a point which is behind the third molar. This is what this means. So white line, it indicates the occlusal level of second molar and third molar. It is the relative difference, that it is the relative depth of impacted third molar. Now let's see amber line. What is amber line? It represents bone level. So it is a line which is drawn from the crest of interdental septum between the molars. So between the molars, this line is drawn between this line is drawn from the crest of interdental septum between the molars and extends posteriorly distal to third molar. So this is basically the amber line. So why we are making amber line? This denotes how much bone is covering the impacted tooth. So this indicates why this amber line is important. This indicates the amount of vertical bone that requires removal for extraction of third molar. Now let's see third line and the red line. So what is red line? If this is my amber line, so what will we do? From this amber line, we will draw perpendicular downwards till the point we will make an imaginary point where we will be inserting our elevator to remove this impactor tooth. Usually this point will be at the CEJ. So this was my amber line, and from amber line I will draw a perpendicular down till the imaginary point of the application of elevator, which is usually at CEJ. It helps us to know the difficulty. Obviously, if this line is deep, that means the tooth is embedded more in the bone. So it is telling us the difficulty level. So all the impacted teeth except the distal angular will be elevated at the CEJ. We will place the elevator at CEJ. If this, as I already said, if this red line increases, obviously the difficulty index increases. If this red line increased by 1 mm, the impacted tooth becomes 3 times more difficult to extract. So if this red line is less than 5 millimeter, it is less difficult. If it is more than 5 mm, the extraction is usually done under general anesthesia. And if this red line is more than 9 mm, that means it is a very difficult extraction and we have to mandatorily remove second molar along with the impacted third molar for which we are doing surgery. So along with this third molar, we will also remove the second molar. Now let's see some points which also determine the difficulty index of the removal of impacted tooth. First is the length of root. If this root is in the formative stage, if the root is 2/3 formed, the root is blunt, it will be easier to remove. Whereas if the root is 1/3 formed, that means the tooth will roll in the bone and it will be difficult to remove. Then fused roots, conical roots are easier to remove, whereas divergent roots are difficult. Convergent roots are easier to remove than divergent roots. Now, if the root is already curved and dilacerated, obviously it will be more difficult to remove than a straight root. The width of root. If the root width is compared to the crown at the cervical line in mesiodistal dimension, if this width is more of the root, so if the width of root is more, then it is more difficult to extract. Then if the roots of second molar are smaller and in relation to the impacted tooth, or the roots of second molar are conical or fused, we have to take care that we do not luxate the second molar while extracting the third molar. Then bone texture also depends. That is, in younger age, there is cancellous and elastic bone, whereas there is dense and sclerotic bone as the age increases. So this was all for this video. In next video, we will be seeing the difficulty index, that is the Pedersen's difficulty index. If you found this video helpful, do like and subscribe. Thank you.